Yes, guys, what is going on? Welcome to episode 26 of the Under-23 Sorare Road to Glory. If you do enjoy the video, please do give it a like. And if you are new around here, please do subscribe to the channel. I haven't plugged it for a little while, but if you are interested in having your lineups built every game week, having a monthly gallery review, and being part of a private Discord, consider becoming a member to the YouTube channel, lads. It's £1 a week or £4 a month. Right, lads, that is the intro out of the way. Let's get down to business. So, as always, we'll review last week's game week, kicking things off with 270, our least prioritized lineup. Looking back at last week's episode, we scored 276 points on the dot, actually, which is a bit random, but we'll take it. The OCD is definitely satisfied there. Lucas Zidane with a clean sheet away to Elche. I really didn't think that they would get a clean sheet there, but Eibar are flying right now, so yeah, I shouldn't have doubted them. Clerk is my captain, 20 odd AA, not bad. Darland, 1-1 draw against Club Brugge in that Bruges derby. Didn't really expect much from him. Yuito Suzuki was the disappointing one. I was hoping he would start. He did. Lads, 2 bloody big chances missed. Oh my god. I haven't even seen the chances yet. If you've seen them, let me know. I haven't been able to find the highlights on YouTube. But regardless, Jordan Larson, 2-1 defeat at home to Barcelona. Shot on target and nothing more than that. 240 was also disappointing in the fact that we were 48 points away from the 340 point target. Let me know in the comments, lads. Did you hit your targets? What did you aim for? I am interested to know. I went big this weekend. Well, not big, but I went for 340, which is the middle target. And yeah, we fell short, even with 100 from our captain. Well, 126.5, which is just, yeah, annoying that we've wasted 100. Campelat with some decent AA, but, you know, 2 goals conceded. Obviously not ideal. He had a clean sheet for like the first 60, 70 minutes. It was looking pretty promising, but Trabzonspor scored a couple at the end. Pasalic with an 11 AA. Monchu really disappointing. And Carlos Martin as well, bitterly disappointing. I'm not sure if any of this was big chance miss. No, it wasn't. It was literally just nothing. He came off the bench, got 2.2 AA in 17 minutes. You're always up against it if your forward is just not starting games of football. Never mind not scoring goals in games of football. So yeah, really disappointing in 240. I'm not annoyed that I went for the 240 because we would have hit the $2 if we would have, you know, targeted that. But lads, you got to go big or go home. And then the closest we got to a reward was the under 23 limited lineup, which again falls on our forward letting us down. And this time it was Brennan Johnson coming off the bench. 2 of my forwards this weekend. I definitely thought Carlos Martin was going to start. Brennan was a bit of a 50-50. I think he was 70% on play sharper. But I went with it. You know, I risked it. And yeah, obviously it didn't pay off. I got my captain semi-right in Madsen. Goal at home to Standard Liège. Campos with an incredible score, actually. 82.6 before bonus. Montez with an okay score, but he got brought off like 54th minute. But he didn't have the clean sheet. He always gets a yellow card, basically. And they always seem to bring him off if he has one. And then Ivan Heel with some really nice AA, actually, at home to Villarreal 2. But yeah, Brennan absolutely killed me. Came off the bench for 19 minutes. And so that kind of tops off a bitterly disappointing weekend. But unfortunately, we have to accept it's part of the road to glory. It's part of everyone's Sorare journey. You can't win every weekend. Well, unless you're Pranksy or something. But you know what I'm saying. We've not made any new additions to the gallery. As you can see, 9 days ago was the last card that entered the gallery in the form of Brooklyn Reigns. And he did actually start for Houston Dynamo. We mentioned he could be a sneaky shot for that midfielder role now that Hector Herrera's out for a little bit. He played against St. Louis FC. And yeah, error led to goal, lads. So yeah, that wasn't ideal in his first game. But I've been told that he did play pretty well. Now, as we always do, moving over to play sharper, checking out the starter predictions and the expected scores of the boys for the weekend. Andreas Andrade at the top of the list, 90% on to start at home. Looks like a great fixture, just off 100 from last weekend, which is really, really nice. We've got Campos up there as well with a good fixture. Alan Montez at home, but he doesn't have starter predictions yet because he played this midweek. Carlos Martin, 75% on to play. So I'm going to trust play sharper, even though he didn't start last week. Klein Hansel's back from suspension. Madsen's on at 95%, which is nice. Clerk is suspended this weekend, which is annoying. We've got Darland, but we don't have starter predictions yet. Ivan Heel at 75% away from home. Monchu's at home, which is nice. We've also got Jack Mayer back. We have the MLS back. Thank God. Which is fun. He's only at 65%, which is a little bit annoying. They play at home to New York Red Bulls. I'm not sure if I'm going to risk him there, but it's good to see that we have that league back. And hopefully we see those new MLS cards drop on Sorare very, very soon. Brooklyn Rangers at 55. We've got El Karauni at 90. His L15 is still pretty low at 44, so I am quite interested in using him. Yuito Suzuki never has predictions. I don't know what is going on with Mateus Ryu. We've got Jorgen Larsson at 90%. Khalifa Koulibaly doesn't have predictions yet. Got Kampelat at 90. We've got Suso at 45. We've got Cham, who's back, which is fun. He's at 95%. I think he started last weekend. Pasalic is at 55, which is concerning. And Duhara is at 0%. So, the guys that we need to play are at decent percentages for us to really, trust them for this upcoming weekend. So if we move over to the lineup builder, we are going to prioritize under 23 limited this weekend as the main lineup. Now, we've been pretty close in under 23 limited over the last couple of weeks. Brennan obviously let us down last weekend, and we've been chomping at the bit, to be honest. And I really do think with the fixtures we have this weekend for the players, I really do think we got a good chance. So we're going to go with Campos in goal. I think that one is a bit of a no-brainer. Nice opposition score prediction at 56. He's a AA matchup on Sorare Data, which is always nice. In defense, we've got a couple of options in the Darlands, of course. Alan Montes is a AA. El Karauni, like I mentioned, is pretty nice as well, but I would probably rather use him in maybe 240 or 270 just because his L15 is pretty low. As far as what I really trust here on this page, it has to be Alan Montes for me. That L5 from Darland is just stinking. I might still have to use him somewhere, but Alan Montes is in the best form for me. Nice enough home fixture. And yeah, I just can't really go against him right now. In midfield, we've got Monchu, Madsen, Heel, Pasalic, Suzuki, and Cham. Of course, Brooklyn Reigns is in there as well, but do we want to risk that? Probably not. Now, I mean, Madsen has the best, stats as far as L15 and L5 goes. It's hard for me to go against that, if I'm being honest. Monchu has been off it recently, even though he is at home. Ivan Heel's AA has actually been really, really good recently. If we go over to form and go by L5, you can see his AA average is 17.4. Monchu's is 10.4. Madsen's is only 8.8 to be fair. But the thing that makes Madsen really good is he takes penalties. So he has a lot of DAs. He has a lot of decisive actions. And that, of course, always helps our scores. So I think Madsen has to take the midfielder spot. Up front, we've got Martin Larsson, who's away to Cadiz, which feels pretty nice. We can't really use Duhara or Badji. So I am going to go in and go Larsson. That is 4 out of 4 AA matchups, by the way. We are definitely not used to this on the series. So that is a welcome surprise. And then we do have a couple of AAs left. We could go Monchu. We could go one of our Darlands. We've got Ivan Heel in there as well. Away to Levante doesn't feel like the best of matchups. Or is it Darland? I mean, UPenn aren't good at all. Really, the opposition score is pretty nice. There's a 40% chance of a clean sheet. I know his form isn't great, but I might just have to play the fixture, not the player, if that makes any sense. Could I expect a little 50 AA maybe from him? The highest since that is only 18 AA, which is actually quite concerning. But if you have a look, they're conceding in every game, basically, which is not good for a defender, of course. So I am going to back Cercle Bruges to keep a clean sheet here, away to UPenn. I'm going to go in and captain Alan Montes, and that gives us a 77 lineup strength score, which is really, really nice. For 240 then, we've got Lucas Zidane or Kampelat. I think it goes without saying Lucas Zidane's basically my best goalkeeper right now. L15 of 50. Yeah, it's a bit higher than Kampelat, but I think the output we could get from him this weekend, will sort of make up for that. Andrade is on absolute fire. I feel like that is the first AAA matchup we've ever seen in this series. Let me know in the comment section if you've ever spotted a AAA in the gallery, but I'm pretty sure we never had one. So Andrade has to go in there. We have to fit him in despite the 59 L15. Suzuki at 35 L15, I feel like picks himself, even though he let us down last weekend. Up front is Carlos Martin or Khalifa Koulibaly. Khalifa Koulibaly actually scored last weekend, and I didn't even play him. I didn't expect him to start. He hadn't started the 2 previous games, and he played 65 minutes and got himself a 70. So I missed out on that, which is just great. They're both at home, him and Martin. But yeah, I mean, I might have to use Martin for now, just because the L15 is a little bit lower, and it's going to allow us to play somebody a little bit tastier in the extra position. So Darland's still a AA. We have, our second Darland in there. Monchu, Ivan Heel's at 52 as well. El Karauni, even though he's only at a 44, could be an interesting player. I don't know if I want to go double Darland because I'm too reliant on him then. Like, if he lets me down, he's going to let me down in both lineups, and I'm just going to hate him forever. So I'm going to avoid playing him. For me, it's out of Monchu, Heel, El Karauni, and Koulibaly. It's annoying that we can't play Klein Hansel. We can't afford him. He's 53, L15, and I just can't really trust Munchu right now as much as I want to. His scores are just too middle of the road for me. Like, there's just no decisives in such a long time. Do I want to go double forward in this Cap 240 lineup? Is that too reliant on decisives? I would argue yes. So a part of me probably is going to go Sofian El Karauni, you know. And I'm going to go in and captain Andrade. That leaves us with a 72 lineup strength score, which by Sorare Data's calculations is an 8% chance of hitting the 340. And lads, you know me far too well to know that I'm not going for that 270 target. It's 340 all the way. I'm taking my 8% all the way to the bank with me. So we're going to save that, and then we're going to go into 270, which is our last prioritized lineup. And Kampalat will have to go in goal. He's our only goalkeeper. We'll go Klein Hansel in defense for now. We've probably got to play heel in here. I think his form sort of speaks for itself. Koulibaly picks himself as our forward. And then, do we back Munchu? I really don't want to, but he does have a soft spot in my heart, lads. And 6th v 7th is a big game for Valladolid. I am going to back him. If you let me down, Munchu, seriously now, we're going to have problems. Big, big problems. 3 home fixtures out of 5. We'll take it. It's not great. We're going to go in and captain Klein Hansel. Is a bit of a risk, but he does have some high peaks, which I can get behind. I just remembered I haven't showed you the spreadsheet yet. And yeah, same balance, £19.91. Nothing has changed. We haven't sold anyone like I mentioned earlier, nor have we bought anyone. But going back to the completed lineups then, we've got our under 23 limited at 77 lineup strength score. It's not the be-all or end-all when I mention these lineup strength scores, lads, on Sorare Data. Like, don't take them as gospel all the time. You know, the AI most of the time doesn't lie. You know, the Sorare Data system and how they project scores, you know, they do a good job. Like, let me just put it that way. And yeah, it shouldn't be your be-all or end-all, but it is sometimes a nice justification as to, you know, who you've built in the lineup. And yeah, under 23 limited looking pretty tasty. 5 AA pick scores, 3 away fixtures. You know, I'm not a big fan of away fixtures, but I think the fixtures are fine enough to where we could get away with it. 240 looks pretty strong despite not maximizing the 240 points. We've got 8 points to spare, but I really do think El Karauni can outscore his L15, as do I think Carlos Martin will. So, yeah, Suzuki's in there. I think Andrade's in for a big game as well, and I'm hoping for a clean sheet from Zidane. And then 270, it's obviously the throwaways, but you know what? They're definitely not bottom of the barrel. There's some decent players in there, some decent enough fixtures to where, you know, we could scrape something. So, I'm optimistic for this weekend, lads. Let me know how you're feeling about this weekend. Let me know what targets you're hitting in the Cap 240 thresholds. And I shall see you guys in the next episode.